Hello, Morgan Road Elementary families. This is Mr. Woodcock, and I appreciate you coming this evening to our Morgan Road Elementary Curriculum Night. I want to start off by quickly going over our schedule for this evening so we all understand where to be and when to be there. I will be speaking for about 10 to 15 minutes. After I'm done at 6:20, our teachers will start their first session. And then at 6:50, they will start their second session. Don't worry, we'll stop a few minutes before the 6:50 time for those of you that have to transition from one meeting to another. I'd like to let you know that Mr. Burgess is also available from 6:20 to 7:20 this evening. He will share the information. I know he shared earlier today the link for tech support. So I know many of you are struggling, and we are struggling at times here as well with some of the technology that we're needing to use for the hybrid/remote model. So Mr. Burgess is available to answer questions and support you with all of that. So thank you, Mr. Burgess, and please take advantage of that opportunity if you feel the need. You know, the goal of Curriculum Night is really to kind of help to assist parents kind of visualize what school looks like. It's definitely an easier task when we're able to bring parents into the building, but we're hoping by hosting this through a Google Meet with classroom teachers, you'll have a better understanding of the schedule of the day, what the students are being exposed to academically. I'm going to go over some of the safety protocols. And then with the teachers later on, you'll have an opportunity to ask some questions that you've had over the past couple weeks. I'd like to start by introducing our staff, our new staff, and some of the staff that are transitioning into new roles this year. The movement makes it sometimes challenging to understand where everybody is. I'd like to welcome Mrs. Cavallero and Mr. Roberts and Mrs. Lott, our RTI teaching assistants. Mrs. Lott is our ENL teacher. I'd also like to welcome Ms. Pallone, who is our psychologist intern, and Mrs. Pascarella, who is teaching fifth grade this year. Mrs. Pascarella has been with the district for a number of years at Elmcrest, and she is now with us here at Morgan Road, so we're thrilled to have her. We have some people that have changed locations since last year. Mr. Francie is now teaching third grade, and along with Mr. Francie, we have Miss Hanson, who is teaching the third grade ICT, so they're working together there. We also have Miss Collins, who is moving from third grade ICT to a first grade ICT. So she's a special education teacher in Mrs. Creasel's room. And Mrs. Warner is now teaching fifth grade. Hopefully you can keep up with all those changes. I just want to make you aware of where everybody is. At Morgan Road, we really focus. We spent a lot of time a couple years ago talking about our core values as a school. And, you know, many of our teachers are parents as well. So we try to do this from a parent lens. Get a better understanding of what our focus should be as a school. And after spending an entire year filling out surveys, having discussions, we came up with these 4 priorities as the main focus for our students. You know, we want all of our students, obviously, number one, to be safe. We want them to achieve as high as they possibly can from an academic standpoint. We want to teach students empathy and perspective and teach them about relationships, because in the end, what we've learned about relationships is that's what ultimately will make us happy in life. And then finally, we want to provide them with as many opportunities as possible. You know, many of you chose Liverpool because of all the opportunities that we're able to give students from a technological standpoint, from just a field trip standpoint, an experience standpoint. So I'm going to talk about some of those today. So let me start off by talking about safety. Obviously, we have a new challenge this year with the COVID pandemic, and it's definitely been a really busy month or two over the summer, really preparing this building for students to return in a safe manner. So one thing that you would have noticed if you had the opportunity to come into school today is that all of our furniture, a lot of our furniture has been moved, and it's in spots in the building where students can't see it. But we've taken a lot of our tables out of cluster areas. We've taken a number of tables and chairs out of classrooms to create more space for social distancing purposes. So that was one of the big things we did. Obviously, all students are required to wear masks throughout the course of the day. We do have mask breaks, and obviously they get to take their masks off when they're eating lunch. But the rest of the day, students are wearing their masks. We're really talking to the students and giving them frequent opportunities for hand washing throughout the course of the day. And we're using the hand sanitizer when sinks are not available. One of the things the district has asked is that we do not allow visitors to the building this year. So when you pull up, you'll notice there's a difference because you call the office and we bring your child to you if you're picking up for an appointment and such. I want to also let you know before I get into the achievement part is that due to the no visitor rule and obviously other concerns related to COVID, we will not be having Halloween parties in the school this year, and there will be no Halloween parade, unfortunately. Hopefully, the Halloween on Saturday will help, minimize the disappointment there. From an achievement standpoint, I'm not going to speak too many specifics about our specific programs because you're going to hear about them from your teachers, but we have access to, this is kind of tied into opportunity as well, because we have access to some amazing programs here in Liverpool. We use our Ready and iReady program for mathematics. We're happy to report that a board has adopted the CKLA program for K-5 for ELA. We have the Amplify CKLA program, which is the online portion of that program that supports teachers as well. And you'll notice it's in our social studies box here because it provides many opportunities to integrate the social studies curriculum into the ELA program, which is great. And then Smithsonian for science. I'm required to let you know that we are a Title school, so we do receive Title I and Title IV funding. We use this funding for teaching assistant support, reading teacher support, professional development opportunities throughout the course of the year, and opportunities to hopefully eventually when COVID is over, bring parents into the building and have opportunities to engage with one another. From an empathy/relationship standpoint, you may or may not know that we are the first school in the country to implement the Positivity Project 5-6 years ago, which is grown to a nationwide / international program for students to teach students about the importance of relationships. The key here is that we all have 24 character strengths within all of us. One of my top strengths is bravery and honesty and creativity, a few of my top strengths. And one of our goals with the Positivity Project is for students to learn what their top strengths are and areas where they can improve some of their character. Because the good news is we're not the same people we were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We all develop throughout life and we grow as individuals. And we're really hoping with the divisive nature of our society that we can teach some of these skills to our kids and maybe hopefully develop more positive, meaningful relationships in the future. So you're going to hear about the 24 character strengths throughout the course of the year. You're going to learn about them. And this year we are excited to announce there's an opportunity for parents to start these conversations a little more frequently at home with P2 for families on the Positivity Project website. So we encourage families, like this week or this past week, we taught students curiosity. And this week we're talking about teamwork. We encourage you to get online, find the P2 for Families link. You can click on the character strength of the week and it'll give you questions that you can talk about as a family, video that you can watch and discuss. Because really, if we all have these conversations, we're hoping that it'll make the world a better place. The password to access this information is P2, P in the number 2. All right, as we move on, I'd like to talk about opportunities for students here at Morgan Road. We have a tremendous team here that's really invested in making sure our students have access to all the things we'd like them to have access to throughout their life. I'd like to shout out to our PTO for being amazing and supporting us throughout the course of the years. We've had many opportunities to visit different places as part of field trips. Our PTO supports all of our field trips. We offer a number of after school and before school programs, including the running club, BBA basketball, the dance program, the Bricks for Kids program. Our fine arts team has every year is able to produce an amazing musical. Shout out to Mrs. Corp for last year doing this virtually. And these are things that we're really proud of. And obviously, with all we're going through right now, some of these opportunities will be limited because of our visitation and after school activity rules. But it's something that we're proud of, and we look forward to getting back to as soon as possible. On the bottom of this screen, you'll see the fifth grade trip to the state park last year, Buttermilk Falls State Park. Shout out to Coach Felice for organizing that trip and working through the New York State Parks Association. And I'd also like to give Mr. Burgess some recognition here, because Mr. Burgess spends a lot of his time supporting students with technology and pushing into classrooms. So that's something we're able to offer through our library department here at MRE that isn't offered to everyone everywhere. So that's a really unique opportunity here at Morgan Road. I'd like to just quickly go over the arrival and dismissal routine. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for their patience. Obviously, it's definitely a challenge to dismiss all of our students in a staggered manner, in a healthy manner, maintain social distancing, enable 70 cars to be here along with 14 buses. Not an easy task, but we've been able to break it down so that it's only taking us about 10 minutes in the afternoon to get the students out of the building and home to where they need to be. So I appreciate everyone's patience with that process. Hopefully you're growing more comfortable with it. Just so you're aware, we are going to dismiss students that are walkers at 3:45 every day. So at 3:45 is when students that are walkers will be dismissed, and we will call students that are riding a bus at 3:55. Typically, we've been getting all of our buses out of here at about 4 o'clock. So everything's been working on time so far. I do want to update you on the drop-off in the morning. So I had mentioned that we were going to try to stagger the drop-off, but I think we're in a situation now where it's working out and everybody understands the routine. All drop-off can happen at 9:20, so that's a change. All drop-off at 9:20. Buses and walkers can be dropped off at 9:20 in the morning, all right, at the walker entrance. Picture day is coming up. We have Monday, October 5th, and Tuesday, October 6th. All right, cohort A and C will have their pictures taken on Monday, and cohorts B and D will have their pictures taken on Tuesday. You can see the picture code ID. You'll receive an email from LifeTouch with more specific information about picture day. Mrs. Young and I will work on a schedule for the cohort D remote students so that we can have you in to take your picture if you'd like to have that opportunity. All right, one thing I'd like to address before I set you free to go meet with your classroom teachers team is substitute teachers. If a teacher is going to be out for a day, they are going to email remote students and students working virtually from home an activity to do from home. We just found that it wasn't feasible to have a substitute responsible for teaching remote and in-person students at the same time when they have had no background with that experience. So they will be working, our substitutes will be working with the in-person students, and the teacher who is homesick or out for the day will be contacting families via email to let them know that they're out sick and the plans for that school day. As always, if you have any questions, and I know there are many, many questions, and we're trying to communicate in numerous different ways this year, I will try to clarify anything that's coming up in a consistent manner on School Messenger, which will send you an email. If you're not getting those emails, let us know. Mrs. Young can add you to the system. I also put a lot of our information on Twitter and our school Facebook page, Morgan Road Elementary School. So please like us there. But if your questions are not answered there or on our website, please feel free to reach out to us here at school, and we'll do everything we can to help you, and so that we can get through this in a as least stressful way as possible. Thank you for being here this evening. We will start our first round of meetings with teachers at 6:20. So make sure you get on those links. They should be up and running about 6:15 tonight.